Hey guys, welcome to my conversation with Coach Ransom, Mountain Brook, Alabama 6A, back-to-back dual state champions. Coach, how different is it to win the second one compared to the first one?
Uh, I feel like it's completely different. The first one, kind of when everything happened, it was kind of like it was still kind of the shock value of everything that, it didn't really seem like it was real. But I guess with the second one is like we've had our mindsets, we've been there before, and as long as we expected it. So this one seemed, although it was last year was our first state title we won in school history. This one almost seemed like it was much better for the fact that yes, it was back to back and it was a repeat.
Yeah, and a little bit of a kind of a chip on your shoulder, and rightfully so. People were looking at Mortimer Jordan. They were talking about other teams, and Mountain Brook, you guys stepped up, won some great matchups with and dominated in the finals. And we'll get out to all that in a second. But it's got to feel really good to watch your kids, kind of take that on and own that mentality of we're going to prove everybody wrong.
Oh, 100%. We love listening to the pod or the stuff that comes out a couple weeks before, I guess you would say the rat poison,
Right.
counting us out, the, preseason rankings having us down to fifth, sixth place. And our kids and our guys are like, no, coach, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. So you're right. It's that chip on the shoulder. And, it's with that, it's like, we're going to prove everybody wrong. We're going to show them who the best dual team is in the state of Alabama. So.
Yeah. Well, and you did. And if we look back, um and I want to go kind of duel by duel, but one of the things I wanted to kind of point out is for everybody, for people who didn't get to watch it, and I didn't get to watch it, actually, I had to go back and watch it on Track Wrestling. But you have kids throughout your lineup. They're just doing their job. They're all, I mean, you don't have holes in your lineup. You have just some really solid wrestlers throughout from top to bottom.
Yeah, and like you said, doing their job. That's the expectation. When we call it dual season, it's about what you can do for the team. Very selfless attitude, and like the expectation of our team is, let's get our sixes and move on. And if
Mhm.
we're not going to get the six, we're not going to get the win. We're going to battle and stay off our back. And we've kind of owned that, even last year. But through this year, we kind of came to that mentality. That's the standard that we don't go to our back, we don't get pinned, and we take care of business and get those sixes where they're at. So,
So everybody who's watching this right now, what Coach Ransom said is not just a saying, it's not just whatever. It was executed. Like, I counted it up. Out of 4 duels, you had 22 falls and you only gave up 3.
mhm.
Your kids, like, they went out and got bonus and they didn't give up bonus. And that
Mhm.
is super important to winning some really tough duels.
Oh, absolutely. And you look back at the one, the elite, the second round duel. That's the big one that stands out
Yeah.
when it came down to the last point. But the mentality there is, and our kids have bought into it, and that's the standard. They know what they have to do every time they step on the mat, regardless if they're up a weight class or they're wrestling. Wrestling someone they should win easily, and the expectations getting those pins and moving on.
Yeah. So what you're referring to is it's very hard to win a duel with 6 wins out of 14 matches, and that's what it came down to with Homewood. And you gave up a forfeit at the end, but
Mhm.
but um but still winning 6 matches because of those bonus. I know you probably thought it was going to be a really tight match and everything else. Was there anything in that match itself that stood out to you as being the moment where you're like, okay, we've got it.
Yeah, well, we wrestled them a week before in the
Right.
region finals, and it was pretty one-sided, and we didn't have our heavyweight in lineup, so we knew we could get some points back. But they're also in my back of my mind, I knew where those swing matches were. They were close the week before, or hey, we ended up getting a pin late. So at that point in that match, I remember we didn't really do what we needed to do up top, and we were circling back around. And as we going around, I remember like saying to myself, like, we need 2 more wins. So I was doing the math, like we have 5 wins, we need 2 more wins. And then I just saw all the pieces falling into place. Like they were just 3 pointing us to death coming back from, we built a lead.
And they
And then
were.
yeah, yeah, and, we were very nervous, we lost a 138-pound match that we pinned the week before, um, and then we get up to 150. We had a guy that hadn't wrestled a match all year go out there against, one of their tough wrestlers, and, he held it to a major, and, I remember going to the back room and, grabbing Jude Smith and said, "We need a stick. You pin, this isn't thing's over. We don't even have to wrestle the next match." And he looked at me and says, "I got this." So
Ah, yeah.
that was a good feeling from the coach to see that, to look in his eyes and say, "I've got this."
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it gives you a little bit of goosebumps that
mhm,
he was ready for the moment, and that's pretty good. Like you said, your heavyweights all the way through the entire tournament. I mean, and not just your heavyweight, but like your upper weight
anchorweights.
guys. They did what they kind of set the tone for your team. Like they put up a lot of points and got a lot of wins, and they really did that in the Mortimer Jordan match.
Correct. When we drew with the weight we're starting at with 157, the first match, and then 165 against Mortimer Jordan, we knew we were in position to get on a run. Um, we bumped Jude Smith up a weight class. He's been a go-to pinner for us this year. We put him up at 165, and he got the win. Uh, So we circled back around and, we won 165, 75, 90, 215 at heavyweight and 106. Now, in my math and my prediction of the score, I expect us to have 7 more bonus points in there, where we didn't get some pins. Um, but that point right there, we essentially knew one more win can do it.
Mhm.
We jumped out a big lead, and, we knew one more win could either do it to where we could either maintain and hold on, or it could 2 more wins seals the deal, gets us to that number 8. So,
Yeah.
our our upper weights, they work hard. We have a great group of guys, even guys that even wrestle on Friday, that are in the upper weight mix. They've been starters in and out for us all year. We have a great group of that. I'd say we're from 157 up to 190. We're really deep in those weight classes, and they push each other. They battle every day, and you know they're constantly putting each other across their back and fighting for it, and especially fighting for starting spots as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I, I, I looked at the matchup, and honestly, I was, kind of like, this is going to be a super close match, and then I'm paying attention to it, and you guys, I mean, not only got wins, but got pins up there,
Yeah.
and really just set the tone and said, you know what, this is an exclamation point. We are the defending champs, and they showed it. I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah, our kids rose up to the occasion. Like I said, we didn't wrestle too well the week before, but we did enough. Everybody did their job. And then when we got in that crossplex, I mean, I looked at their eyes after warm-ups like they were ready to go. They knew what the expectation was from us coaches, and they carried it out and executed it to a T. Like it was I mean, they did a great job. Fantastic job all around.
So how do you how do you transition that mindset with the kids? So last year you win your dual title, and you fight to third at traditionals as a team. It is it is a little more individual, right? You're putting different kids in
Mhm.
places to help them make a run to a state title, but you also want to be in the running for your a traditional team title as well. What is kind of, do you keep the same message, or do you kind of, is the conversation shift a little bit now?
The conversation, I think as coaches, I don't know, we didn't do a great job at it last year. I think, I'm not saying we had won traditional, even if we did the best job last year. McAdory was really tough to get in
Mhm.
there. But this year we've talked all throughout season, all right, how do we switch gears? How do we switch gears? And yesterday practice mentally, the same thing last year, the day after the state dual finals, is mentally the hardest one to get over.
Mhm.
So we kind of stopped the guys mid practice, pulled them in and talked to them and said, hey, we got a match tomorrow night. Duels are over, but it's time to refocus for traditional. And all throughout the duels, we're talking about being selfless, what you can do for a team. Now it's the point is like, let these guys be selfish. Like if a guy wants to go a different weight class, like you've done what we've asked you for the team aspect, do what you need to do individually. And if everybody does their job and achieves their individual goals, I think everything will take care of itself in February.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think we wrestled a good state tournament. We had three number 3 seeds last year lose first round, and
Yeah.
battle back like that hurt. Um, but every one of our guys, I would say we have, 9 returning state qualifiers that are in the lineup. They've been there before. They've seen it. The whole shock value is going to be gone. Um, they know what they're working for. And we went to the Hook'em in Georgia. We went to the Southern Slam to
Right.
try to get them that exposure of see like, hey, your state tournament's going to be easier in this tournament. This is the toughest tournament we're going to go to all year. Let's focus that. Let's not that way we're not getting nervous at the state tournament and not wrestling cautious instead of going out and wrestling to win.
Yeah, well, and we had that conversation at the Southern Slam. I mean,
Mhm.
the importance of seeing a tournament that the bracket's deep,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you gotta figure out how to be up for it in that round of 16 match or in that quarterfinal match and figure out how to get wins. And how do you think like has that really kind of helped you, I think, preparing for this traditional run now?
Yeah, I think it has, and also too, I think the biggest indicator was individually for a bunch of our wrestlers that were there. They were kind of wrestling at an easy weight to wrestle at for them physically. And after that tournament, the team, a bunch of the guys on the team came to us and said, "Coach, we all want to drop. We want to be at a more competitive weight class." And so I left it up to them, like and so I think they mentally have put themselves like, "Okay, I can compete better if I'm at a lower weight class." And I know what I need to do now to be able to reach those goals. And that goal is for those guys that went 2-2 in South Carolina, or place
Right,
seventh.
right.
Like that wasn't their goal going in, and I think that was fuel to the fire for moving forward into really focusing on the individuals and traditionals. And I think after that tournament as well, it really showed because we performed really well at the Hook'em in Georgia.
Mhm.
Carrying only or 11 wrestlers over there. So I think it really switched the focus for the guys and like had them saying set their individual goals. And again, it's about time let them be selfish and let them go out and we'll find ways to coach them to achieve their best. But they want to be able to achieve their individual goals. They've done the team thing. They won the team goal, and now it's all about them individually. And like I said earlier, they do if they achieve their individual goals, the team race takes care of itself.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, congratulations on a great run and just a great group of kids. They look like they work hard and I'm gonna wish them the best of luck and you the best of luck as they make a run for a traditional title.
Yeah, and then one other thing I just want to add too is like we
Mhm.
we have a very young team overall compared to last year. We had a strong 4 senior group. This year, we have 3 to 4 seniors in the lineup. But the duels we have relied a lot on our freshmen and sophomores getting pins. Bumping them around, and they have stepped up to the challenge. And again, we have a great coaching staff. I mean, we have guys who are knowledgeable. We all collaborate and have the same consensus on things. And I think that's a major contributor to our success is the
Absolutely.
common
But
goal.
sounds to me like you're saying a little bit like watch out for Mountain Brook 3 time in the future.
Well, we have a standard. Our kids have a standard, and like we were counted out a little bit this year. We were
Mhm.
we were underdogs. Everybody expected it was Mortimer Jordan and everybody else, but that wasn't the expectation here.
Yeah.
Our expectation was a title, and we knew we could do it. And I mean, the guys went out there and showed it on Friday.
Abs
So
Absolutely. Emphatically
yes.
showed it. So, well,
Mhm.
congratulations again, and, thanks for taking the time to talk to me, and, I wanna wish you guys the best of luck, in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you for all you do for wrestling too.
I have a great time. I appreciate it, coach. Thank you.
Yep.